This is episode 141 of the This Week in Marketing show, also known as your Twim show. And this will be the last episode of 2022 and an early Happy New Year. I'm your host Sajid Islam, and today I'll be going over the notable news and updates in the digital marketing space from the week of December 26th through 30, 2022. First off, a question on SEO. Well, actually, this episode covers only SEO stuff just because this is the last week of 2022, and that basically means everything is kind of on hold. Everyone is on holidays. However, Google's John Mueller and Google's team has been quite busy, so we all have our SEO updates. Number one, the question I was asked was, hey John or hey Google, if I were to add links to my YouTube video, links to my website on my YouTube video, would I get any SEO credit, especially when it comes to backlinking, right? And that's how backlinking works, where you have another outside property or another outside website that puts a link to your website. To that, John Mueller says, hey, you don't get any added benefit. And I kind of see why, because YouTube is owned by Google. So a lot of SEO people, experts say, hey, you can create videos, put your links to your website in your videos. And you know what? This creates backlinks, right? You should never do that. But I would still suggest you put links to your website in your video description, only because it helps the person watching your video. If they want to connect, they want to learn more, you kind of direct them to your website, but don't think this is going to give you any SEO credit. Next up, the question was again to Google was, hey, are there any SEO benefits if I add page numbers to my paginated pages? Now, what are paginated pages? Paginated pages are, say, it's a product page. You have 500 products, and obviously you're not going to show all the 500 listings in one page. So what you are going to do is you're going to go ahead and split it up, maybe 50 products per page, maybe 100 products per page, or maybe 20 products per page. One of the great example you can do is, and I have been to their website recently, so I kind of remember this. Go to Saks Fifth Avenue's website and go into the men's sections and look for searches, and you could see, there are 500 items on sale. Now, obviously, you can break it down by categories, like whether accessories, pants, tops, t-shirts, and things. You'll still get about 100 or so per category, right? And sometimes people say, get confused, they do not know what to do, or they say, hey, should I write the title saying, page X of category Y, right? I mean, it's confusing. I mean, if you're ever at that point, you know what I mean. So anyway, Alan Kent from Google in the latest Google Office Hours 6, putting page numbers in your title tags for your paginated pages does not help much with SEO. Right. He says including page number in your information about a page will have little effect. I would include the page numbers if you think it's going to help the users understand the context of a page, but I would not include it on the assumption that it will help with ranking or increasing the likelihood of page being indexed. Having said that, my advice to you is you should always use page X of category Y, just because if that page were to get indexed, assuming this is not an temporary page, or it's not dynamically generated, and it's not a sales page, right? And if it was dynamically generated because it's coming from your inventory database, and your things on sale for this week or this month that will not be there next week or next month or whatever, it's a limited time page. Obviously, you don't want it, and then you would use robot tags and everything to kind of control that. But assuming this is like a regular page where men's sections, and you have 5 pages, I would still use the page numbers, page X, category Y, just because there are chances it's gonna get picked up, and there is a product in page 3 that gets indexed and it shows up, and if a user were to see that, while you don't get a direct SEO benefit, they say, oh, I am on page 3, so let me go and see what's on page 1 and page 2. I mean, depending on how you look at it, there is no right or wrong. There are more than 9 ways to skin a cat, I guess. Skin a cat or something like that. So hope this helps. I know I'm not giving you direct answers because, it's more complicated. There is no one size fits all. You need to reach out to your SEO person and discuss this, brainstorm to see what's the best strategy for your case. And if you're stuck, you need help, you know what? You can always reach out to us. That's always an option. Next up, again with Google, John Mueller was answering to a question is like, hey, will having cache control headers, will that help with any crawling and indexing? Will that make crawling and indexing faster? To that, John Mueller says, you know what, cache control headers do not really help or apply to Google's crawling and indexing. They're for browsers. Now, if you're not sure what cache control headers are, that's a little bit of a technical term, and I just happen to know this because we use quite a bit to, load our website faster on subsequent visits. What cache control headers are is basically it's the things that you don't see at the top of a website or a web page that tells the browser what to do. So for example, if your web page has 10 images and you know that images does not change and you don't want that browser to keep on loading that same cache again and again, the same image again and again, because you know what, it slows your website down. So the first time maybe it takes 7 seconds for your website to load, but on subsequent visits it's gonna be like 2 seconds or 3 seconds, because that cache of that image or cache of those images that you have on your web page are already present in your browser, because the cache control header on your page told the browser to preserve it for 30 days, 40 days, 60 days, a year. Right. Again, it's a very complicated no, I wouldn't say very complicated, but it's, again, there's no one size fits all. I hate to say this. It's just because it depends from website to website, depending on what you're doing. But a good rule of thumb is like, you can always say, you know what, do a cache control header for 30 days for assets that don't change a whole lot, like JavaScript, cascading style sheets, CSS files, as well as images. Hope this helps. But if you need more help, reach out to us. Next up. Google says just because you have unique text, infographics, and videos will not make your content good, accurate, and helpful, right? And this was in response to a question from a Twitter user that says, "Hey, my website is in this field of medicine with exclusive content, has exclusive content. Exclusive content is completely unique. We have all articles of infographics, even has dedicated video has been produced, but it seems like, we are not getting enough, links back. Traffic has gone down. What's wrong with your Google algorithm?" John Mueller says, just to be frank, none of those attributes mean that the content is good, accurate, and helpful. Making something good, especially for medicine, takes time, much more than writing unique text, adding infographics, and a video. Folks, what this means, and this is exactly what I've been, been mentioning multiple times in the past, is like you need to follow the EAT principle. In the past, it used to be EAT. Now Google added an extra E, experience, to your content, and it's not easy. It's not going to just be overnight, and just because some SEO guy, I'm pretty sure, I will tell you, this is an SEO guy, right? And the type of question he's saying is basically he is suffering from is like, he took the general knowledge, the knowledge that's floating out there, just says, hey, create unique content. Some SEO guy taught him this thing, just create unique content, put some infographics, and wow, your website is going to rank, voila. It's not that simple. If that was simple, like there are trillions of websites out there, and I say trillions just because in my estimate it's trillions, not billions anymore. Whether it's billions and trillions, doesn't matter. Everyone would be doing that. It takes a lot more work. It takes a lot more hard work. And yes, there are ways people game the system and then they kind of get it done. But that does not mean that's the norm, right? Just because, I can drive through red lights and not get into an accident today, tomorrow, I haven't gotten an accident in the past, does not necessarily mean that I will never get into an accident because I'm like, basically driving through the red lights. Correct? Or maybe either I will have an accident or some days I'm going to get pulled over for, running a red light and I will get into trouble, right? So always follow the best practice. Again, I know it's hard. I'm not trying to push you anything, but, if you are confused, you need help, another set of guidance or another set of pair of eyes, always you can reach out, okay? And next up was, and it's actually, I like this one. This was, hey, Google, should I use the no follow link or the for links to my social media profile from my website or web pages, right? So, what are no follows? No follows are link tags or link attributes that Google introduced back in 2005 to combat comment spam. Right? This is kind of goes back into the backlinking. First, when backlinking came up, and backlinking was a way to signal to Google, hey, Google, 10 other websites are talking about me, so I must be a very influential website. A lot of the users have basically started gaming the system by going to different blogs, porn sites, and commenting on blogs and putting the link to their website. Right. And Google was saying, hey, hold on, this is crap. Like, you are basically polluting the ecosystem and we're going to put a stop to it. So one of the things they says, you know what, hey, we want you to use this really real REL equals to no follow. That kind of tells, hey, if there are people who are commenting on your post on your website, and if you put that thing in your programmatically, then we will not count it as a page rank. It's kind of we will not basically treat it as backlink and give credit to the resulting site just because 10 other websites are linking back to me. But if they have the no follow link, I won't get the credit. Right. So basically the link can be there on your website, but I won't get the credit. So no follow has been there, and people have been using this for the social media profile. Like, for example, if you go to Market and Grow, and if you look at our link profiles, and it will say no follow, and what that basically says is, hey Google, you can follow this to Instagram, follow this link to Facebook. However, don't give credit to Instagram and Facebook just because we don't want you to give them credit. I want you to kind of rank our website, do the rank extension. Now, Google's John Mueller is saying, look, if that's the case, what you want to do instead of using no follow, and I will be frank with you, I did not know this, that we should be using rel equals to me. That's the new attribute. That's the attribute we should be using because it's an open standard. It indicates that the destination represents the same person or entity as a current page, and it actually helps you overall. So again, folks, I don't know anything, and this is one of the reasons why I love this hosting this show, is because I also get to learn, and that was the main purpose of doing this show, because I was reading everything every week, and you know what, I was like, I got to share this knowledge with everyone. Like, people have to know what I know, and you don't have to spend 3-4 hours a week to get on top of things. Right, that's the whole game, because I spend roughly 4 hours a week reading and bringing you the things that will move the needle in your business. So hope this helps. Again, go ahead and have your website administrator or content developer or marketing team make sure to change that real no follow to rel me. Again, if you're not sure how it should be written, check out our show notes. It's there. It's very simple. Wherever you have the aref link, you just put in rel equals to me. If you need help, you know who to reach out. Lastly, let's see. Yeah, this is the last one of this week, and this was a great question from a user on Mastodon to Google's John Mueller asking him, "Hey John, should I say goodbye to a page that was penalized for having irrelevant and low quality links, or will I have another chance to be ranked?" Right. So as you can hear from this question, this user is asking John, "Hey, I know I tried to game the system, I got caught, and now my traffic's not, I'm not getting, I received a manual penalty, or that there's no more traffic to that page anymore, whereas I was gaming the system, so I knew there was traffic in the past because I can see it in my numbers, analytics, or search console. What should I do?" So John says, unfortunately, ultimately it's up to you. If you find that something on your site doesn't work the way you want it to work, you can fix it, make something new, or just move on to something else. Right? For algorithmic effects, your changes will be taken into account over time, though it might take a lot of time, so fix it right and for good. If you are talking about a manual action or penalty, you can also submit a reconsideration request for it. There is no magic immediate answer. Even creating something new takes time. If you build the foundation of your site on bad links for a longer period of time, that will have a lasting effect, even if you suddenly fix some things. It's tempting to build a house out of cardboard. It's cheap and it looks like a house quickly. Removing the cardboard doesn't make it a stable house. Folks, That's exactly verbatim what John Mueller says, and I will add to it is like, this is why I say an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. Do not hire and give full control to your marketing SEO team without an oversight. If you need help, you can reach out to us. Now, okay, that's a shameless plug. Now, coming back to break it down, what this basically means is don't follow the common advice that you should go for backlinks and then you hire someone whose job is to add backlinks, and obviously you're gonna get all this crap. That's where a ounce of prevention is better than cure comes in, and that's why you need an oversight. Whether it's us, someone else, is up to you. Again, if you don't hire us, it's not going to make a dent in our universe, but it may change your universe just because now you have added an oversight. The second thing is, look at it this way: you can fix something, and what John mean by algorithmic effects is that you fix it, you have to wait, Google have to come and re-index, things like it takes time. Even if you're creating something new from scratch, you have to wait for the crawler to come, index it, add it, find it helpful. So it takes time. SEO is a long game. You cannot just go in, put grass seeds on the ground and think grasses are gonna come out tomorrow, right? It takes a long time. It's a multi-year process. That's why you need to start with the right foundation. And this is why I think John is saying you cannot build a house out of cardboards and then, it looks cheap, but it looks like a house. You're going to move in there, but it's not a long-term strategy. If that's the person you are, or if you are not our customer, right? If you're the kind of person who needs a cheap and quick and dirty solution, you are not our customer. We are not an agency. Now, on the other hand, you could be a victim to an SEO agency who is doing this to you and you do not know. Again, this is somewhere you reach out to a third party saying, hey, this is happening. Can you be the oversight? Can you make sure? Because I'm the business owner, I'm running it, and I do not know what's going on. I do not understand all these things. I don't have the time. I don't want to be I just want a third party, outsiders, to kind of look at it and make sure that, they are doing the right by me. And you know what? It's something, SEO, it's organic, if it pays dividends. And so I want to focus on it. Okay, with that, folks, that's it for this week in marketing. Thank you for staying with me for this year. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed. I definitely love to get your feedback. So please make sure you rate the podcast or the show, or you're listening on Apple Podcast, YouTube, or if you're reading the blog, just send me some comments. That would really help. Signing off for this year. Take care. Bye-bye.